Hey, how you doing? My name's Cams, I'm an alcoholic. Welcome to my channel. It's February. Yay! Dry January's finished. That's what I wanted to talk a bit about today. Dry January and what my take on it is. Do I support it? Do I think it's a good thing? I was just watching a video by Munya Chawawa about Dry January on the E4 channel, and he put forward the question,
what if Dry January lasted forever?
It was interesting and it got me thinking, so I thought I would do a video about that because I've been seeing a lot of Dry January stuff on Twitter, and now that we're into February, I actually put a tweet out saying I'm a little bit concerned that there's going to be a lot of drunkenness in February. So let's talk about Dry January, and while we're at it, let's talk about Sober October. These concepts, I think, are fundamentally good. I think that it gives people a really good insight into what alcohol is doing for them or doing against them, if you follow me.
Weeing in your own wardrobe at 1 AM, because we've all done that, haven't we? Huh? We've all done that. Trust me, we have.
Actually, yes. But how did you know that, Munya? When the body starts to heal, when you're not taking alcohol into your system, you start to sleep better, you start to feel better. But I know from my past behaviour that going on the wagon for a fixed period of time with your eye on the prize of getting to the end of that period when you can actually, go on a binge, I didn't find that kind of behaviour to be particularly helpful for me. But I can see why it would be helpful for people who aren't alcoholic. And when I talk about going on the wagon and how that was good for me, it never really lasted very long. I don't think I ever attempted a full month. So, I was still drinking before this Dry January thing became a thing, and before Sober October was ever heard of. So it wasn't something that I was on board with. I don't think I would have jumped into anyway. Yeah, what Munya Chawawa said in his video, he gave a few statistics.
In a normal year, 4 million Brits will be doing Dry January, which means getting to February without a drop of alcohol. However, Lockdown 3 has put a stop to that, with most people now deciding that essential shopping also includes about 10 litres of gin. In your lifetime as a Brit, you will spend 15,000 hours hungover and £50,000 on the alcohol that gets you hungover.
Yeah, those numbers seem a little conservative.
Alcohol costs the NHS £3.5 billion a year and is also a causal factor in over 60 medical conditions.
So I think these are good concepts. It's got me thinking about the bigger picture about alcoholism and about the economy and about prohibition, because that was attempted, at least in America in the 20s. It didn't work. And now we're getting the government coming in, making regulations on the tobacco industry. When fag packets got changed so that we had horrible pictures of tar-filled lungs on the backs of the packets. The prices went up, and now retailers are not allowed to display tobacco products. Are we going to go that way with alcohol as well? I don't think we are. I think that the industry is too big. It makes too much money for economies, for businesses, for governments. I don't really see it. I mean, if alcohol were invented now, what would happen? Do you think it would be legal? Do you think we would be allowed to partake of alcohol if it were invented today? I don't know. It's a bit of a dangerous drug, to be honest. And it's used as a social lubricant. And it has its place, but I'm just thinking of the economy. I mean, particularly here in Scotland, right, where we've got the whisky industry. Massive industry. It brings in so much tourism. It's incredibly important for our local economy here in Scotland. What would happen if alcohol were banned? I just don't think it's something that could happen. But to get back to Dry January, I think it is a really good thing. I think for people just to get some insight into what alcohol's doing to them and to give them an idea of how life could be without alcohol. And maybe if dry January finishes, if you're doing dry January and you're able to go into February without feeling the need to binge to make up for what you've missed, you know what I mean? It could be really good for your health, and it could be really good for society in general if binge drinking and the binge drinking culture were to start to fade away and become socially unacceptable. But then that leads to the whole alcoholism problem, right? Which is where I come in. My experience is that when I would take a couple of drinks, then I would go on a binge. I would feel completely powerless to control that. And that's what happened. And I'm one of millions or billions of alcoholics who are unable to control their drinking. So what would that look like? You know, if there were a limit on how much pubs could sell, or if you were able to have your alcohol levels measured using something like a constant glucose monitor, you know, the sort of thing that diabetics can stick onto their arms and have their blood glucose measured with an app. That could be something that might come into place. So instead of an outright ban on alcohol, we could go into something like that. But then there's the whole nanny statism thing, which Munya Chawawa does talk about.
And conservative governments in general don't like nanny states. Apart from the nannies they used to look after their kids. Heyo!
That's all I wanted to say today. I just wanted to put this out there and to talk about dry January and what my thoughts are. And I'd be interested to hear from you. If you have done dry January, how are you feeling? How was it for you? Do you think it was worthwhile? Do you think you might drink less going into February? Would you consider doing Sober October when that rolls around? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you and hear about what your experience has been like. Thanks for watching, and remember, you're not alone.